Yes, then she can do that.
Okay, but you're saying that sometimes babies are able to identify their moms, and that's how come they can or may reject the breast milk from someone who is not the mom. So at what age will baby be able to, have the senses to identify that this is the mom or not?
Well, just after birth.
You're able to tell that this is your mom?
Yes, that is why the bonding is necessary. So you place the baby on its mother, you realize that the baby moves its head to the breast. Even if you put the baby in the middle of the breast area, you find the baby turning its head towards the breast nipple. Okay, so that is where they begin to form a bond. And then a few days, from 10 to 15 days, that is 2 weeks, that you'll be feeding your baby, the baby can identify it. Already the baby has this familiarity with its parents once it is inside mommy's womb. So once it comes out, it's just officializing everything, so to speak. Yes, so baby can identify.
Oh, so right after I conceive or I realize that I'm pregnant, when exactly do I start lactating?
So around the 16th week, you would start seeing milk coming out. Your breast will become heavy. That is your body's preparation, acknowledgement that indeed there's someone there and we might be feeding soon. Yes.
Interesting.
But that doesn't mean that by force, by all means, by 16th week, you should have your breast milk coming out. Some will have it after the baby is born. Some will have it later at the 9th month when baby is about to be born. So sometimes you get mothers coming in worried that, oh, Mrs. A is having a milk coming out and mine is not coming out. I don't feel anything. Is there any problem? No, there's no problem. Once the baby is out, you will get your milk.
You get your milk, okay. And we have a 30 seconds video of breastfeeding, and let me call for that, and then viewers take a look. Welcome back, and I believe you learned a thing or two from this video. I learned something that, or what the video was actually talking about was how important the breast milk is to babies. That gives them, intelligence, I believe, and more monyansa. And it's not for the man. So learn to give the breast milk to the baby because they need it, and it's strictly for 6 months. But I'll get into that because the video was also teaching some positions of breastfeeding by mothers, and which is appropriate and all of that. We'll get into that section when we get to the positioning of breastfeeding and all of that. But after conceiving, after putting to bed, I'm supposed to lactate. So once I'm not able to be able to breastfeed my baby, what is the reason? What causes that?
Usually there's a delay in some women. Her body is not able to send the signals off early enough, or she's having low nutritional value in her. That means she hasn't been eating properly
during the pregnancy period.
Exactly. So everything is lagging behind. So usually we would encourage you sometimes to, it's just physiological. Your brain hasn't activated the breast milking yet, or when baby came out you weren't available. Talk about maybe cesarean session, talk about maybe baby was rushed to the intensive care unit, or any situation that will separate you and your child at the moment of birth. Yes, sometimes it's affects your body system, your physiology, and then your body won't be able to give out the milk early enough. So usually with that, we would encourage you to still put the baby to your breast, let the baby suckle on it for a while, and then it would initiate the breast milking.
I thought it was more like an automatic something. Where
it's usually automatic, but once in a while we have women who get problems with it. They delay in breastfeeding. Yes.
So in place of the breastfeeding, what can I give to my baby?
So temporarily, we would ask you to do the formula, the artificial milking, but that won't be strictly for the whole period.
Okay. So
your breast milk is out, and then you would fall off the formula and then go back to the natural method. That is breastfeeding.
Okay. Yes. But it's a temporal period.
Yes.
Okay. So for mothers, especially the CES mothers, when they are separated from the baby, some, I believe, will be asked to pump the milk or something.
Exactly.
So how do they store that? How should the storage process be like?
So breast milk can be kept for days, even weeks, depending on how you store it.
Okay.
Some would harvest it into packs, seal the packs, and then store it in refrigerators.
Oh.
Yes, that is those who are milking a lot, those who are able to milk a lot, you can store it in packs, in freezers.
Okay.
And then when it's time to feed the baby, you take it out, put it in hot water. Don't boil it, just boil your hot water.
So as it's stored in the pack,
exactly.
So maybe a Ziploc bag would do.
Very good.
Okay, then
and
just
dip it in the warm water. Yes.
Okay. Then you can feed your baby with that, and it's equally healthy.
Very good.
Okay. And then babies who then do not take the breast milk, and maybe they have to follow in the formulas or other stuff, do they grow as healthy babies as compared to babies who get the breast milk?
Well, not to spoil anybody's market, but they don't usually grow healthily as compared to the breastfed mothers. And I have had experience with 3 different kind of mothers that I was supervising. Let's say I took them through their antenatal period, and then when they had their babies, 2 of them did exclusive breastfeeding, and then 1 did lactogen and all those formulas.
Okay.
Now what I observed is the one on the formula would easily fall sick. Today the baby's tummy is bloated, tomorrow baby is not able to poo-poo, the next day baby is this, baby is that, as compared to those who were doing the natural breastfeeding, those who were giving their baby breast milk. They hardly ever complain about any problem apart from gas, because they weren't able to pad the baby properly after breast milk. Yes, so usually chances of the formula baby falling off or getting ill is higher as compared to those milking. Okay, so you definitely do advise that we go most definitely. Yes.
One. Okay, so once it looks like in the hospital, once baby is out, you midwives or health experts quickly put the baby on mommy's chest and all of that, and breastfeed, and then the bond and everything. Doesn't mean that once baby's crying that definitely baby needs breast milk.
Yes, babies cry when they are hungry, but it comes with maybe the baby will be fizzy. You find baby putting its hand or anything it grabs into its mouth, and then baby would hold its firm grip. Yes, so with that, and then when you put them on your breast or your chest, you find it's turning towards the breast area. That will let you know that naturally baby is hungry.
Okay. And is mommy strong enough to be able to breastfeed?
Mommy should be. Mommy should be. Yes, that is why there are various positions in case you are not that healthy or strong enough to sit and breastfeed. You can.
Okay, so when mommy is breastfeeding baby, how will mommy know that baby is full?
Usually, once baby is full, baby stops suckling, and then it will take its head off the breast. Yes.
Oh, okay. Then mommy can tell that
baby
is full.
Exactly.
So it means babies cry when they are hungry. So once baby is crying, I should give breast milk.
Yes, most of the time when they are crying is because they are hungry. It is when you feed baby, and you know baby has fed from both breasts, and then baby is still crying, that you want to check out what else is wrong with baby.
Oh, fed from both breasts.
Yes, so when you are to feed, you are supposed to feed 2 breasts, this side and then the other side, or this side and the other side, anyhow you want to go.
You can use your own discretion.
Yes, baby has to feed from both to be sure that baby is full. You have to feed from both breasts.
Wow. But a lot of babies also hiccup, and then we assume that baby is still hungry or something. Does that mean?
Well, with the hiccups,
we assume baby is full.
With the hiccups, we adults, we also get hiccups sometimes. It's just because there's air, we've swallowed air and all that, and then our body's trying to get rid of it. So yes, you can use it as a cardinal point to feed your baby, but that isn't necessarily true. That once the baby is getting hiccups, then it means baby is hungry.
Okay, and that is where lots of people advise that mothers give water to the babies because they are hiccuping.
No.
So what are you supposed to do once baby continuously
when baby continuously get the hiccup, still feed with your breast milk. Now the issue is with the water that we take in, regardless of what brand you are taking, you can just try this. Pour the water away and then run your finger through the container that the water was. You realize that it was slimy. That means there are little bit of bacteria that we can see that may be in. Our bodies may be able to tolerate that kind of bacteria, but your baby is a newcomer. Baby is not familiar with our world, with our products. And now your baby's liver is now getting, matured and all that. So giving water to the baby at that time is not advisable. You drink the water and then give baby your milk. Yes.
Okay. And then we see them, blowing air at the back of the palm, and then
it's just
getting some, thread
to drop on their forehead and all that, and in their head. It does. It's just a myth. It's just a myth.
Wow.
It's lucky enough, sometimes we attract certain energies just because we believe that it is going to stop. It actually stopped, but it doesn't mean. So why the white one who doesn't put any cloth up? That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's just belief. We've been able to, consume that belief that once I drop that on the baby's head, it will stop. So it really does work for us. But no, scientifically, it hasn't been proven yet that it does something. Yeah.
So approximately how many times should I feed my baby in a day?
Well, for the first 1 to 3 months or 4 months, you should be able to feed baby 2 hourly, whether the baby is asleep or not. Once it's 2 hours, you have to feed the baby.
You have to wake baby up and feed baby?
Yes. Every 2 hours, yes.
And babies usually close their eyes when they are breastfeeding.
Yes. Jenny.
So baby is crying or not, I have to feed.
You have
baby
to
is
feed.
Asleep or not, I
have
to
to
feed.
feed. Yes.
And last, you mentioned that even when you're about bathing baby, you still
feed
have
the baby first before you bath the baby. Usually, it makes the baby relaxed and then calm. You know that baby is not hungry, because if you are about to bath and then baby is crying, you are bathing and baby is crying, you are in a haste to put baby to breath, and you might not bath baby properly or give the baby the care it needs properly. So feed before you bath.
Okay. Yes. So when I'm breastfeeding baby and baby doesn't drop back, I don't have to pull it out. But sometimes you see women breastfeeding and then it's like baby is sleeping. Do I?
Yeah, then that means baby is full. But when you are pulling and then you realize the baby just wakes up to respond to the feeding, then you should allow the baby to feed.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just remind viewers that the WhatsApp platform is active and we have the numbers at the right hand side of your screen, so you can start sending your messages. We're talking about breastfeeding. This week is the World Breastfeeding Week, and is the theme, or under the theme, Step Up for Breastfeeding, Educate and Support. So it looks like a lot of things are going on as regards to women breastfeeding. People are not getting things right. People are losing their babies because they are even overfeeding their babies, and that's how come they are losing their babies. So we're talking about breastfeeding from the 1st of August to the 7th of August is the World Breastfeeding Week, and that's what we are talking about in the studio with resident midwife Rabia Farawa Sarimita. And like I said, it's more like a revision session today because we've spoken about breastfeeding for quite some time now. So activate the phone lines very early. You can call in and ask whatever question that is bothering your mind about breastfeeding. But for now, we are taking your WhatsApp messages, and you have the numbers at the right hand side of your screen, so you can start sending them through, and then we'll tackle all of them. Thank you. But Rabbi, you mentioned that when you're breastfeeding, you have to do both breasts.
Yes.
So mothers with twins, baby's crying, you do one here, you do one there, and then you have to interchange as well.
Oh no, you can't, because I've already emptied one before you are coming in. That is why with the mothers of twins, we advise that they eat very well, extra well than the single baby mothers who do. Yes. Because you are feeding two people, and then you would need to feed them for them to be satisfied, just as the one person who is also feeding somewhere would be satisfied. Yes.
Okay. So you can feed the two babies at a go.
Exactly.
When you have twins.
Yes, you can.
one here, one there.
Exactly.
So how about you have triplets, you have quadruplets, babies are crying at the same time?
So you take things, and then
there was a woman
with 5 kids.
With 5 kids, she already has
yes,
5, and then now she has 5. Even though the scan told her she was going to have 3 triplets, she had 5 at a go, so now she has 10. But about the other 5, they are gone now. I'm sure they're not breastfeeding. But with the 5 breastfeeding, all 5 are crying at the same time. You even mentioned that you don't have to wait for them to cry. So when you're sleeping, you pick them up and then breastfeed. How do you handle a situation
so
like that?
That is where the stress comes in. Whether you're choosing formula, exclusive breastfeeding or formula, you would still get stressed. So it is still 2 at a time. You have to eat properly. But with them, you would have to, get auxiliary help from formula. So you mix the formula. Maybe you take turns, 2 come in to take the breast milk for a while, and then you substitute the formula after that. Then the next 2 come in, and then
so you are mixing.
Yes, you would have to mix.
Formula.
Yes, that is where the problem will come from. So you would have to choose whether you are sticking to just breast milking, and then you would have to eat and eat and eat properly, because the more you eat.
That. So do I have to draw a chart that maybe baby A had formula yesterday whilst baby 2 was breastfeeding?
Well, it is at your discretion. However you would be able to feed your baby, it's necessary and it's important. So you would have to, devise ways and means. You should be creative about it. Maybe in the mornings, baby A and B will get the breast milk. In the afternoons, anyhow.
You can mix. I thought maybe when you're doing sole breast milk, you have to go by that. If you're doing formula, you have to go by
it is advisable to go by one. But here lies the case, there are more than you can provide. Okay, even though usually with the mothers of twins and multiple babies, their breast milks also flow exactly to match the demand. The more you feed, the more your system produces it, because your body feels that, let's say I'm giving you just 1 cup, but they keep coming for 3 cups, then I have to work extra to get them the 3 cups. Yes.
Isn't God so wonderful? Or you don't even say God, you say energy.
Okay, yeah, it's God, because the reason why we don't mention God is we don't want to, cause those kind of conflicts, confusions amongst our
conflicts.
Yes.
Okay, amongst your clients and all of that. I see. But you keep mentioning breast milk, and we keep hearing the strictly 6 months breast milk. What basic nutrients are in the breast milk that babies have to get at all costs for 6 months?
Very good.
Because the video clearly said that yes. So it looks like, why are you initially it was even 4 months. I remember when I was a baby, it was 4 months. What changed? Why is it now 6 months? And why strictly breast milk for 6 months?
All right, so it is believed per research that the baby's system, from its heart, its lungs, its liver, and everything else, begins to get extremely matured or very much matured after 6 months, or when it reaches the 6th month. That is why it is able to eat your kind of foods. All right, so in the beginning, where the baby's system is new to our environment, very new and very weak, it is now learning to be strong. You need to give the baby foods that would be tolerable by its system.
Okay.
Yeah. The breast milk contains a lot of nutrients. Everything you are eating as a mother, that gives you your nutrient as an adult.
Okay.
The baby gets some of it.
Okay.
Yes. So you are eating carrots, whatever it is in carrots, you are getting your nutrients, and then baby is getting some. You eat your banku, whatever is in that banku, you get yours, and then same thing, baby gets it.
Okay.
Now, the breast milk is in, let's say, layers. Okay. There's the thick, concentrated part called the colostrum. It comes off very yellow. And the funny thing is that our mothers will say, pour that away, it's dirty. Until she will squeeze or make sure the milk comes, and then the yellow part is discarded. And then when the white light part comes, then she'll now start feeding the baby. You've poured all the nutrients away.
So at what point does that yellow, that colostrum comes in? When baby is out? That's when it comes out?
Yes, exactly. It's been forming already. So by the time baby is out, it is prepared,
so it
ready
comes
to
at
come.
once and it doesn't come again?
No, it comes always.
Always.
Yes.
So that's the first part that comes when you're ready to breastfeed.
Very good.
Oh, I don't know why I keep doing this. Okay, so that's very nutritious. It's very nutritious.
It has a lot of nutrients, and it has antibodies. So you, the mother, you get infected with any kind of infection, you go to the pharmacy and buy antibiotics for your infection. That colostrum is the baby's antibiotics. Yes. So it goes there, it stays there, it goes there, it stays. So baby is exposed to some kind of infection, and then that colostrum that the baby has eaten can fight off. It helps the baby's body to fight off those infections for the baby. So this is it. When you are giving the baby the formula and artificial foods, that colostrum part is missed out. So again, you put those two babies to a test of infection, and then the one with the natural feeding will be able to survive as compared, not in terms of death, but it will be able to, counter the infections as compared to the one on the formula. Now, those on the formula itself is from cow milk. That is, if we are lucky, that is what they say, is from cow milk. But it is made of artificial, nutrients, synthetic nutrients that you are giving your baby in the natural form. So you can just still compare. Yes. That's how
I'm sure they even add all sort of stuff to
and preservatives and all that. Yes.
Okay. So what exactly does it do in the children's life aside, preventing the infections and all of that?
All right. So
the nutrients in the breast milk.
It gives the baby its nutrient, the various nutrients that the baby will need. It helps the baby to grow well because it is getting it at the right time. It is economical to the mother itself.
Okay.
Yes. So I don't have 50 cedis for formula. I have 10 cedis. I'll be able to buy a running cat here, chew, and then get my milk. 10 cedis as compared to.
Okay, we'll come to what mothers are supposed to eat to improve the breast milk. So you said it makes the babies grow
healthily.
What form of growth are we talking about?
The baby will gain the proper weight that it's supposed to gain, not the diabetic kind of weight, because babies can also get diabetes. Apart from the fact that it can be genetic, you can also give your baby just because of the way you feed it. And then the baby's whole body system is able to grow gradually according to how the days go by. Exactly. So with breastfeeding, it's too much. It's the nutrients are too much. Exactly. And then you create a bond between you and your baby, because whilst you are feeding your baby, you talk to your baby. The baby is able to feel the warmth from its mother, so it knows that, okay, this is someone who feeds me. That is why the baby will be able to even reject someone else's milk and then insist that it gets mommy's milk. Yes.
But I'm trying to understand that the breast milk is for 6 months.
Yes.
And even after 6 months, you then have to introduce the, other foods. But still there's breast milk. So why the 6 months first? And why not still having this breast milk and then the other foods right from birth? Why don't you mix? Because after 6 months you tend to mix. You don't do away with the breast milk, but you just add up with the other food. So why what happens to the baby's life, the first 6 months of the baby's life? What happens that you need just the breast milk?
So like I said, the first 6 months the baby's organs are now growing. They are now maturing. It's just like a little flower growing. It doesn't just grow up so that you pour all the kind of fertilizers in it. You have to calculate and measure the kind of fertilizer you even give to your flower. It's the same way with the baby. The baby's liver, the baby's kidney, they are all young, they are all new. Initially you were doing everything for the baby because the baby was inside. Now the baby is out and has to do everything on its own. It has to learn from a from a little stage upwards, and we believe that by the 6th month the baby's body will be able to hold on to external foods without any problem as compared to the early months. Though we have mothers who will come bragging that I started feeding my baby at the 2nd month. You don't know what is going to happen later on in their lives. And most of us, we are even lucky because God has blessed us. That is why we don't see any reaction, and then we feel that the nurses, the midwives are just making noise. That's what you hear them say. But standardly, scientifically, you need to feed your baby with breast milk and allow its system to grow gradually. Then by the 6th month, you can now, and even with the introduction of solid foods, you realize we don't just go in solid like that. We don't start feeding the baby with ambesi and all that. We start mashing and making purees out of them. Exactly. And then we know that by the next 6 months again, that is by the time baby is 1 year old, now baby will be able to, receive extra solid food because now its system has been familiarized with the type and stages of feeding. Yes.
I get the explanation so well, and then it still comes to mind, then why do you allow babies to be given the formula maybe the first week or something because mother is not lactating? Then if you really know that baby cannot, break down these kind of foods, then you could probably ask other lactating mothers to breastfeed their babies because maybe mother is not around because of CS, or maybe mommy is not lactating at that point. Then why do you allow them to introduce the formula foods?
That is why we say it is temporal, just for the few days or few hours that mommy is not around. Now, I can't take your milk for my baby or for mommy A's baby because you have your own infections, you have your own system going on. Even if you are healthy, there are certain traits that you would transmit to your baby that might ask or let the other baby react to it. So we can't give mother A's baby milk from mother B's breast. We just stick to the formula. We make sure that it's hygienic enough. Once you're able to start lactating, we ask you to speedily rush on to feeding your baby so that you don't fall on the formula, because we know that the formula won't give the baby the enough nutrients and immunity that your system or your breast milk will give your baby. Yes.
Okay. Earlier you mentioned that a Bruni Katia is good for the mother because it helps her to produce more of the milk. So what are some of the things the mother should feed on to help them to produce more of the milk for their babies?
Once you put to bed, you need to start feeding with liquids. Anything fluid based, you have to feed a lot on it. You have to feed a lot of protein and cereals. Yes, so you get the calories and then the protein parts, you get the vitamins that you need for yourself and then for the baby. Remember, you are not eating for one anymore, so the baby starts eating on its own. Everything you do is for two. So you eat extra and then you make sure you are hydrated enough. Yes. So any food at all that not the the dry food, you talk about the rice and stew, the fries, the oily food. No, you need soup based food. Tomato soups, soups, any kind of soup. The abenkwan in our setting, we like the abenkwan. So yes, do enough of the abenkwan, not necessarily fufu and abenkwan. Now this is it. They feed on the fufu, the starchy fufu. Morning, afternoon, evening, night. The abenkwan is good. The abenkwan is good, but she'll be eating fufu all throughout. And then later on, once the baby is done feeding, now you were feeding the baby, you weren't exercising. Now we found by and you said I'm no, it's because you were eating extra starchy foods that you weren't exercising for. When you are not with the baby and you are not pregnant, you eat your fufu, you are active, you are going here and there and all that. But once you put to bed, you hardly even do anything. You don't do many chores at home. So you are always in bed or sitting down or something menial, and you still eat this starchy food over and over again just because you say the fufu na maunofon and sheshe. No, it's the soup that will let you sheshe, not necessarily the fufu. Yes, so soup, light soup, granite soup, any soup at all, any Ghanaian soup, any soup you are familiar with, you should be able to eat it, a lot of it, and then you have to do a lot of fruits. Because the fruits contain the vitamins that the baby can take easily, as compared to the prepared foods, the vitamins coming from it. So a lot of fruits, fruit, and vegetables, chewy fruits. Yes.
Really? We can't do the smoothies and all of that.
Well, you can do that, but does it mean that you are going to get? Is it artificial based or natural smoothies?
But it's not. It's raw fruits that I blend.
Oh, then you can do it. Yes.
The fruit salad too.
You can do it. It's very necessary.
But then it looks like breastfeeding is a whole institution.
Yes.
It's a whole form of stress. So how do we help mothers who are breastfeeding?
So you need to help them get enough rest. The more you rest, the more your body is at its balanced state to give you more milk. But you don't get to rest. The least chance baby is crying, you rush to the baby. You'll be stressed out. Once you are stressed, your milk will stop coming. Yes.
So that's how come you have mothers coming
in to help with them and exactly. Yeah.
Okay. How so they themselves, the mothers breastfeeding, because you mentioned that it can pass some infections to the babies and all that. So how should they take care of themselves in terms of hygiene and all of that?
So we've realized that some mothers, they just pull their breast out of their bra, sweaty and all that, and then they give to the baby. disgusting, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So you need to wash your hands regularly. The least thing you touch, you wash your hands, because the baby system cannot fight like you can fight. Common cold, when you as an adult you get cold or kata, look at how you feel.
And then they push shea butter and adult babies.
Yeah,
is that
the
right?
shea butter is okay.
Oh, for the baby.
For the baby,
okay.
Because it provides moisture for a long time as compared to water-based products.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you need to wash your hands properly whenever you are about to attend to the baby and after you attend to the baby, be it changing of diapers, be it bathing the baby. Wash your hands. When you have to feed your baby you wash your hands before you feed your baby. Your breast too has to be cleaned. Bath a lot. If you don't want to bath, make sure that your breast is clean. So you get a towel, you wear the towel and clean your breast. If it's to clean all two breasts that you are going to feed, especially the nipple area, the areola, that is the black part that covers the nipple. Yes, you have to clean that place before you feed the baby, because the nipple and that black part needs to enter the baby's mouth, not just the nipple.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so if this is your baby's mouth, everything has to go in, capture like this, and more like that.
Okay.
Yes, so you need to clean your breast. Change your bra often. If you are someone who sweats a lot, if you are going for weighing, postnatal services, and you are going to delay in the queue, everything is sweaty here and there, before you feed your baby, make sure that you clean your breast properly before feeding out your baby.
Okay, there is something I've actually observed with breastfeeding mothers. It looks like when you're in public, they don't know how to go about it. Some fortunate ones who leave the premise and go into their cars, park somewhere, then they breastfeed. Others really don't care. I don't know if they don't care, but it's like they have no option. They just take it out and then that's that big and then just put it. Others who are also a bit shy, but maybe do not have any chance to escape or leave the premise, would have to, cover with some cloth shoes or cloth or something. How are you supposed to handle this breastfeeding issue when you're in public?
Well, your outfit would need to help. So we have mothers zipping at the back. So when she has to feed, she has to take the whole cloth off. That is a problem. So whilst you are feeding, you need to bring your zip in front. So you unzip halfway, so your breast, one of your breasts is out, and then like you said, you can get a little napkin, because you don't need to suffocate your baby. You don't need to cover baby's face so that baby can't breathe. Baby needs fresh air. So you bring that one breast out, and then you find your little face towel, drop on the parts that you feel that people would see, but it won't have to affect your baby. Elsewhere, they have cubicles in public that they've designated for breastfeeding mothers. So you get there and you want to breastfeed.
In our local society, you go to a funeral and everybody is seated.
That is our problem
You
here.
don't have your car parked somewhere for your husband to walk into your car to breastfeed. You just have to take it out, and it's very big and scary.
So in our part of the world,
it's like, you don't care.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. It's a necessary evil, so you don't have a choice.
Because baby is crying, baby needs
but at least you should give yourself some privacy by yourself. So that's why people have improvised with their towels and cloth that they'll use to cover their whole shoulder and then cover the baby up. Yes.
So that is not medically related.
No.
It's just you as an adult, maybe you're shy.
Providing yourself with the little privacy you can. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I have some few WhatsApp messages that I want us to go through before we get into the positions of breastfeeding. This one says that, good morning, dear. Honestly speaking, as a man, breast milk is for consoling the pressure away from the woman, which can cause breast cancer if a man suck it up. Well, earlier Diego and I were talking about why men want the breast, and I think he's saying that's as regards to that. So he says, honestly speaking, as a man, breast milk is for consoling the pressure away from the woman. Women, we feel pressured, and then we need men.
that is what society has made us to believe in. Now they think that they sucking the breast is what prevents the cancer. No. It doesn't.
Oh, that's what I also read and learned.
What it does is, whilst he is sucking it, he is playing with the breast. So as he's massaging and playing with the breast, he can feel lumps inside. Oba first now I did when you are and I said dot be one more.
It looks like this job. The men are not doing it. They are not paying attention to that.
Exactly. They think they are doing something, but they are not doing anything actually. And then sometimes you are playing with the breast, you are sucking the breast, and then you start to feel fluids coming from it. So you alert your woman.
Oh, wait, don't rush this one. I think you health experts need to educate the men.
Yeah.
Like, let them know the role they are supposed to play in sucking the breast. Because it looks like they are sucking for sucking's sake.
Yeah.
I'm not even learning from you that it actually comes with pressing and all of that.
Yes,
to be able
you
to
have to play. The problem in our part of the world is we yes, Siatra, that's what we do. Abroso. We just see it, excuse me to say, in adult movies. Okay, so you find someone doing it, slapping the woman, and the woman is laughing. So when you're saying no, that's not how it's done. You have to play. You are fondling the breast. You are playing and massaging the breast at the same time. You want to give your woman pleasure.
Okay.
Obedience basis, so you go crazy. Obeka. Yes, Obeka, or they have these long nails and then they dig it into your breast. Okay. No, that's not how it's done. Into a man baby, we are raised in a way that you can't complain about intimacy when you're a woman, else you'll be seen a different way. So ordinance you'll
be seen as what? You're not ready.
You are naughty. You are extra naughty than you are supposed to be. Most men won't tolerate you talking about how they handle you.
I see.
Over there, yes.
So when you complain, you think, well, you're watching.
You are doing it. You are doing it with someone.
You're comparing me with the person.
Exactly.
I'm not doing it right.
Exactly.
Because if you've not tried something, you have nothing to compare.
Very good. That is the problem. But here is the case. He fixes his finger and digs into your breast. Obeying in Sana marks, his fingernails are drawn there. Yeah, they can be that savage. Yes, but unknown to him, he thinks he is doing the right thing. I saw it in the video. This is what they were doing, so I'm doing that to you.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
and that is not how it's done.
That's not how it's done.
Yes.
So you come in as much as you are giving pleasure to the woman. You're playing a particular role by helping to, identify the lumps in the breast and all of that. So
the lumps, the fluid that will come in. Your woman is not breastfeeding.
Oh, so
she's not pregnant, and then there's some little salty fluid coming out from it.
Then what was that?
Then you alert the woman that this is what is coming out from your breast.
Oh.
So you need to get it checked.
That because it's not supposed to be so.
Very good. So that is where they come in to help us prevent.
But can't I do the pressing myself?
You can. It is actually important to do it after every menstrual phase.
Oh, okay.
Once you see your menses and you are done, you need to massage your breast and examine it, because during that time is where your body deposits a lot of hormones, and then if these cancer cells are there, they get produced extra. Okay, so once you are done with your menses, it's because we are quiet. That's why they feel they are doing something. But though there are some who actually understand the art and then they do it well.
Oh, so some men do it well.
Some men are able to do it well. Yeah, they have to be commended.
But this person is saying that the breast milk is for consoling the pressure away from the woman. So do women feel pressure?
Which kind of pressure?
Okay.
Which kind of pressure? Is it as it helps in the intimacy and in the bonding between you and I?
Stress. Maybe he knows that kind of pressure.
So what if I'm stressed out and then it's not my breast that will calm me down, and you are here, yes, say me to TV to say I have to play with your breast, so come and let me. You won't do anything. You just bore me extra.
So we're supposed to communicate. If I'm stressed, maybe there's something I want that can distress me and not see you funding my.
Talk to me whilst you are being intimate. Get to know my touchy areas. The areas that calms me down, because what will calm you down may be the part that puts me off. Some will say it's their ears. If you come and lick my ears, I'll push you away because it's too tickly. Something like that. Okay, so you need to know your woman. Know the kind of intimacy she prefers. Okay, then you go according. And yet, let's
talk about that. So maybe with some ladies in the ears,
yes,
and some maybe the breast, as you don't know, and then where else.
And even if it is my breast, a lot of parts, we have a lot of.
So let's talk about it.
All right, so some have their ears, some have their lips. Some have their nipples, some have their necks.
Their neck?
Yes.
Oh.
Some have their spine, the line there. You run your finger there and she's crazy or he's crazy.
We'll just touch on them shortly.
So it's the whole body part, up to your foot.
Oh.
Yes, some people want their foot.
Okay.
You touch her foot and then she's all yours.
So how about everywhere for a lady? You everywhere, they touch everywhere.
Everywhere, then you want to go crazy. You don't have a problem. If you react, if they touch you everywhere and you are reacting, it's most likely you don't like the man or you are not ready for the intimacy. Yeah.
Okay. This other WhatsApp message says, "Good morning. Please, I would like to know if it's good not to give baby water for 6 months." That's from Angie. I'd like to know if it's good not to give baby water for 6 months.
It's strictly good.
Okay.
If there's something like that, yes. You are not supposed to. Don't give your baby water. Whatever you feel giving your baby, eat it. Okay, so supposing baby didn't need milk, God won't put that milk in your breast. It will just be there, right? But God knows that once the baby is out, it can't eat anything else apart from the milk. That is why you are giving the milk.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and this one says that, "Hello, good morning. Please, she said we should feed the baby every 2 hours.
Yeah.
And my question is, at night, does it mean we should also feed the baby every 2 hours?"
Very good. So if you listen to the song or say no funcio tete kwalantem.
Okay.
Very good. You have to feed 2 hourly.
Okay.
The more you feed, the more your system knows that we are feeding. We are not ready for making a new baby. But it comes with a technique. You have to do it on demand, continuously. And you say, no, then your system will come back to its default setting. Okay. So you have to feed. Yes, midnight, wake up 2 hourly and feed your baby. That is why it's called nursing. You are supposed to nurse the baby throughout the 6 months.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, throughout the 6 months. Interesting. Rabbi, now let's get into the types of positioning babies for breastfeeding. Okay. So maybe you can have baby. Then we learn about the type. In the video, they projected about 6 different types of the positioning, so we can do.
So this is the first type. When you are being discharged from the hospital. This is the type we teach you how to hold your baby. Now, if baby is laying down, look at my arm. I have the inner part of my elbow and then my palm. This is what is going to be my baby's bed as I feed the baby. Okay. So I take my baby and then look at, this is one type of feeding. I hold the baby's head, I hold the baby's bum, and then I feed. So I push my hand down to hold the baby's bum. The baby's head falls in my inner elbow. So this is how it's going to look like.
I don't know why I feel pressure.
Yeah, initially it will be uncomfortable for you, but as you go on, you will be able to, hold it well.
Okay, so now this position number 1.
Very good. So one arm.
So the baby's bum have to be in your palm.
Exactly. You hold the palm. That means you are able to hold and control the baby's movement.
So it means you can hold a baby with just one
hand. Not move around, but just to feed.
Hold. Oh, okay, yes. Just to hold.
So you hold the baby this way, its head is in your elbow, and then you feed. You raise your arm up. The problem is you find the mothers doing this, bending over to give the breast. No, you are supposed to use your hand to control whatever it is, the baby and the feeding. So this is it. You raise your hand up so you can be able to access your breast comfortably with your back
leaning,
relaxed
against
anything at all. And then you put your baby to breast.
So it's not about you coming down to put the breast.
No, you are not supposed to even come down.
You're lifting the baby up
exactly to the position. Very good. So I have my little cute breast. There's enough space here. Okay. Some will have big breasts, so the space will be here. Yes. That is what we are familiar with. No, but you have to raise your baby up. So you see the way I've positioned my baby, I can raise the baby up and down anyhow. So yes, this is my baby, this is my nipple, and then I push my nipple and the areola, the black part that covers the nipple, the black part after the nipple. I push everything to the baby's mouth. Usually when you bring the baby, you realize that if you put your nipples by the baby's cheek, it turns towards the very good.
You have to searching for it already.
Exactly. That is called the rooting reflex. It's a natural phenomenon. So you find the baby opening wide enough to cover that areola, that black part after your nipple, and you have to wait till baby's mouth is wide open enough to capture that black part or red part if you're a fair woman, and then you put everything into the baby's mouth, and then the baby will start suckling. So you have this one extra hand that you use to, extra press down the milk.
It has a role to play.
Yes, so that it pushes more milk into the baby's mouth. Though the baby will be suckling, your hand will give it extra, service.
Okay.
Yes, this is one part of it.
Okay.
There's the cross cradle or the cross session where this is what I do. Now I've changed. Initially, my palm was at the baby's bum, right? And then the baby was laying in my elbow, inner elbow. But this time, my palm is holding the baby's head, and then the baby's bum is in my inner elbow. Okay, so this is the cross. And then some will want to feed this way. Yeah, maybe the person is a left-handed individual. She has fed here and she's feeding here. Then she'll do it this way.
So that is, you mentioned that we should breastfeed on both sides. So how you did for position 1, you can equally do same
very good
for the other.
Very good.
Okay, so that's
now,
position 2.
Position 2. Cross. The first position is this.
Yes, this one.
And then the second one is this.
Okay.
Cross. And then there's the football. With the football, I put the baby under my armpit this way.
Okay. This practice in Ghana?
Yeah, if you can. So I put my baby here again, and then I feed with this. So the baby is under my armpits, like the way we hold footballs.
But what influenced this position?
It's your preference. What works for you? Okay, so the baby is under my armpit, still with my arm holding at the bum. And then I feed my baby. I use my extra hand to help the baby feed. That is position 3. But there's nothing
supporting baby's bum.
It is. My elbow is.
Okay, so he has to
breast.
Okay, so just like position 1, you're just,
Yeah, just that this time I don't want to cross over and then baby is falling down my armpit instead. So this is step 3 or position 3. Right. And then we have the ones that you lay in bed and then the baby will lay on you.
Like how baby is out for the first time.
Very good. But this time you don't lay too much back or straight. You prop up a bit because you don't want baby to, have a backflow of the milk. So you prop up a bit. So you'll be using your pillows to give your back.
Okay.
Exactly. And then now you feed.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm learning because I'll be happy.
Very good. And this one is helping your back too, because it helps you not to bend and it helps you to feed properly too. Okay, so this is position number 4.
Yeah.
And then the last position is where at night, like the lady has, at night, I'm too sleepy, I'm too tired to wake up.
Yeah.
Then I put my baby by my breast, laying sideways. All right, so let's say if the baby is an adult, the baby is laying down. This is mommy. The mommy will lay down, and then the baby will be
laying
here.
This way.
Very good, and the baby will very good in bed. And then you also support with your auxiliary hand. So one will be propping you up. One hand will be propping you up. Then the baby will lying down, and then yes, you feed your baby. Yes.
Okay.
And then with the first 2 that we mentioned, the cross cradle and the football. You realize that, like I said, I raise my baby high because my breasts are too small or cute. Yes. Instead of it coming down so that my hands will be able to relax on my laps, I had to raise my hands up. Okay. So I get extra pillows. This is my extra pillow. It's still not enough. So I get in another pillow. May I? Your pillow.
Okay.
Then I get enough pillows to support me. Whatever I will do not to bend over is what I'm doing.
Oh, wow.
Very good. So now extra pillow, and then my baby is properly and it is feeding properly. Or I get the, kitchen stools.
Okay.
And I put my legs on it, so I get my legs raised up a bit.
That was more pampering.
Okay, so my leg is raised up. You see, even with the extra pillows and my legs raised up, it gives me extra propping for my back and then my baby. Yes.
I can't wait to feature to be doing, baby, I need extra pillow, baby, I need a kitchen stool, baby, I need this,
Yes, baby.
And you said whatever you want to give baby, mommy has to eat.
Very good.
Thank you.
You have to eat. So if you want grapes, you have to eat your grapes.
Okay. Yes. So maybe I need this, maybe I need that. Because baby wants it.
Yes.
That's my number one excuse.
Okay. So any of the positions that works for you, you would have to. Initially, it will be difficult, especially for first-time mothers. Even with how to latch your baby to the breast, it comes with a little bit of discomfort or difficulties. But as time goes on, you'll be able to,
Okay, we'll come back to that. The phone lines are activated now. Call us Let's talk about breastfeeding. It's 0302-776-379. 0302-776-379. Call us. Let's talk about whatever question you have concerning breastfeeding. We are here to delve into that. So call us. I've received some messages. You can send more if you have, and then we'll tackle them. But for now, you can call us and then we'll talk about it. Okay, another WhatsApp message that came in and said that, please, is it normal for one of your breasts to become heavier or a bit bigger than one whilst you're pregnant, and also to see milk coming out frequently?
Yes. It is a yes and a no.
Hey.
It is yes because when you stand in front of a mirror, your left breast is always a little bit bigger than your right breast. Okay. Now,
naturally, whether you're
naturally.
Yeah, I actually heard that even your leg one is, your foot one is bigger than one.
But the problem will be, how big is the big?
Yes.
Is it too big?
Yeah, because big is relative.
Exactly. So how big is your big? That is when you would need to, get it checked. For the milking, once you get to about 16th week, yes, the milk will start coming. So that too is okay.
It's okay. Okay, yes. Let me go to Katamanto and speak with my first caller. She's patient. Hello, good morning, Pat.
Hello, good morning. I like you.
Hello, Pat.
Please, I want to ask.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Pat. Good morning.
Hello. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Please, I have a baby.
Okay.
And at first, he was 3.9.
Okay.
He was 3.9.
Okay.
So after 1 month, it was 5.0. And I'm doing a thing. I've not been giving any time. But I think now it's going even with this breastfeeding. So is it advisable to add another meal to the breastfeeding?
Pat.
Yes.
Kindly raise your voice a little bit, okay?
I'm saying I have a baby.
Okay.
So I said he weighed 3.9. So after 1 month, he was 5.0.
Okay.
But now it seems he's growing lean. So I want to ask why. Even though I've been breastfeeding him well, he's growing lean.
Okay.
So my husband is pressuring me to add another meal.
Oh.
Is this advisable?
Okay. Okay. So how old is the baby now? A little over a month?
He's a month old.
A month old now. Okay, 5.0. Wait. Thank you,
Yes,
Pat.
a month old.
Rabi, our midwife, will talk about that.
All
5.0,
right.
I don't know. Babies
Yeah,
go
they
5.0.
can be big and bouncy. Yes.
Wow.
She would have to check her diet. Even though we are all eating, we all have different nutritional demands at certain times of our lives. It is true that you are eating the banku soups and all that like the rest of the family is eating, but your nutritional value may have dropped. That is why the baby is not able to get the nutrients it needs. So check your dieting. If you have to do extra dieting, extra protein food just to be able to get the milk, you would have to do that. It's not necessary for you to get formula or artificial foods for the baby. Another thing too, would have to do that. The baby is growing. Yes, it has now become welcomed into our environment. So there are certain physiological changes that will happen to the baby, and then the baby will pick up again. And this is how one of them. But then again, you would surely go to the antenatal, postnatal service. When you get there, report to them the way your baby, and then check your dieting to the kind of foods you eat, how you feed the baby. Sometimes the way we position our babies to feed affects them. So all these things will just report and you'll be good to go.
Okay, thank you very much, Rabi. Another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Mepacho. Hello.
Mepacho Mitio.
Hello.
Auntie, Mepacho Mitio. So why?
Mepacho, let me say. My 1 month, but I call my man on the phone now. No, I say.
Okay.
Hello?
Me pacho me tell why?
Me pacho me man for so now I say.
Okay.
And see, no can I see I made the man and see me besides meeting in your gra, made the man like every man I heard, like the young one, the own.
Woman in the milk.
Me pacho say.
What's a woman the milk?
Pacho.
Milk, bang. Lactogene.
Hello?
Woman the lactogene.
Pacho.
Oh. Jai, why? Midwife become was last after a month.
Okay.
Thank you.
So she said the baby was rejecting her breast milk.
No, the baby takes the breast milk but vomits afterwards.
So it's all lies with the way you position the baby. Yes. So uma akwada na ho kire na nsa na ho twe a. Enye so ofio wa jegu nenu. Enko mu on to me because the way you've positioned the baby is too much for it. So into wa jegu nenu no apuama. Okay. Snasi ye like the way the positions na ya achel no femu back we say obepe kitchen stool now do na esi so now it me feed akwada ni ya feeding ye. Again, if you feed them and they get overly satisfied or mean too much or befe their kana and the system nun to me fan.
Okay. That was what came to my mind.
So it is expected say uma obana no for on phoebe and yes or befe utumi so their honde na fin there na problem I say on fan hospital but one man no for ne we no afia the wedding na does change the wafin. So what I say inti just check lactogene there not to mess with someone's business because nowadays the mothers out there, the attackers say even you the nurses, you feed your babies with the whatever the formula and then when we are doing
but
it.
For now she has to stop
And then check your breastfeeding wall. Yes.
Right, okay, let me speak with Salome. Hello, good morning, Salome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please go ahead with your question.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay. That dropped.
Yes, so she should check the way she positions herself and the baby whilst feeding.
Because ebi akola no mpegi ani to no kakra na
no it jai internet say wundi di na onu funso no munye de. Yes. Woman no phone so we are make sure once what they do is I've observed quite a lot of mothers doing that. Once they finish feeding the baby, they don't pat the baby's back for it to belch. Na or that one man for na yapon no. Once you are done feeding, you have to put the baby on your back and pat it.
Okay.
The baby will belch and then you will see that or belch. How is it said in tree?
I know for Ghana.
They'll kiss you.
Okay.
So when they kiss you like that, you.
I know for Ghana. Yeah.
Yes. Some of the milk will have to come out because one main. Yes.
Okay, we'll come to that. Let me go to session with Reggie. Regina, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Regina. Please go ahead with your question.
Hello.
Hi. Please go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Me pacho mo problem kasa. Me problem.
Hello.
Hello.
Me tell